And I'll end by this quote from Governor Weiss. If you haven't seen this report, he's the former governor of West Virginia. Friends from the West Virginia virtual school and others helped open his eyes. We've been working with him. He's at the Alliance for Excellent Education right now that has been really pushing high school reform and college readiness efforts. But he just published last month a report, it's about 9 pages, The Online Learning Imperative, the solution to 3 looming crises in education. And the 3 crises are our kids aren't getting the skills that they need to be globally competitive, or the technology skills. Number 2, this economic downturn. He's got graphs that are really scary and should really make us rethink the way we spend every dollar right now and over the next 5 years. And number 3, teacher shortages. This is a global problem. There are massive teacher shortages all over the world. UNESCO is spending a lot of time on this. We certainly have a problem in our country. But this is kind of a fun quote from it, and I'll end on this. If you think about how much the world around us has changed just in the last 20 years, it becomes clear that the education sector is like a massive mainframe computer trying to fit itself into a smartphone world. Thanks. Any questions? Yeah, Chris.
Susan, first of all, this is great. This work to get the messaging down in OER is absolutely needed. Okay, I'll speak in my loud voice. One of my questions, Susan, is, and you know this better than I, is the textbook publishers are going to beat OER up on quality issues. So I see the word quality used in here. Sorry about that, Mike, wherever you are. But that needs, I think that needs to get into this elevator speech, because that's going to be the first. Those folks you sat in that room with are going to go right to legislators and say, our stuff is high quality, this other stuff, you don't, blah, blah, blah. So how we answer that question is going to be a big part of, I think, the success of this. I'm wondering if you've thought about that around.
Yeah, and they did a lot of, it's like adaptability. Quality is one of those things that some people understood the process behind OER, and others fell apart on it. So this feedback that you're giving me, that's in the back of my mind too. I'm going to go back to them and see if there's a way we can pull out from the messaging that they did something that focuses on that. That's helpful. And it is an issue. I don't know if you saw in Texas, after they passed the change in law for instructional materials development, the publishers had a 1-pager that was a chart that said OER on one side, and then it had textbook publishing, and it had like all of these quality control bullet point things, and they were all checked off under the textbook process, and like one was checked off under OER. That was a pretty compelling document. Yeah, sorry.
I wonder if one of the models that won't be looked at is the kind of model, how many people have an online trading like Ameritrade or Scottrade, one of those, but one of the things that's interesting with that is they want you to be well educated on all different ways that you can trade, and for years the model was if you wanted to learn how to play the stock market, you go to seminars, you pay good money to do that. But now that's all given away because as part of your belonging to that stock trading service, they want you to place as many trades as possible. So their model is, more trades you make, then they make the money on the transaction fee, but all of their education is given away, and they just have tons of seminars that they do. So.
I think of something Randy said yesterday when he was talking about giving away professional development stuff. So when you give stuff away, it really makes you think about where is the quality, what is the difference in what you're offering, and can we focus on that? And I think getting back to the professional development, that's what teachers are bringing to the table.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting too, this is, I did a webinar for the Ontario, Canada, an e-learning consortium last Thursday morning, and they were walking through what they're doing. The ministry has invested in this development of online courses, and for every online course they do 4 versions right off the bat. They do an English version, a French version, but they do a version that's meant to be a whole course, and then a version that's meant to be completely modularized. And then when they launch them, they launch all 4 permutations of that. And they said they're used in 3 ways. They're used in, by school administrators to be able to have access to distance learning and kind of the virtual school model. Then they're used by teachers in the classroom. Love it. They love being able to access this and kind of mix and mash and do the things that they want to do. They're really used by students for when they're working on their homework, or they want homework help, and they pull and they go and they pull. Back to Mike's comment on the opening day on student-centered. But it wasn't just like, this is all, we're just giving another repository for kids to go into, but they have it so it's all aligned, and the kids' use of the digital content in the way that it's broken up is really, it's really impressive, and I think that's an interesting model too. All right, well, thank you. So there's anything I can do.